across some disturbing things and disturbing signs that there's definitely going to some sort of very large demonic force that could possibly enter our world. And there's a lot of things interrelated in this area, and we're trying to put all of these things together to come up with a good overall defensive plan to deal with this problem.
Ah, my son. We are aware of the disturbance in the most recent years in the area and have been trying to ascertain the forces behind this. And he tells you about the ancient clash thousands of years ago when there was evil was banished, and you guys are kind of nodding and agreeing. You recognize common conflict. And you can give him some information generally, but he's the Church of St. Cuthbert is interested very much so in finding and fighting chaos, of course, and evil, and righteousness is our path. What can we do to help you in this journey? For I have a couple ideas, but was there something that you came seeking? And actually, you guys spend about half an hour, let's say, talking. Brother John shows up with another monk with a tray of refreshments and some tea and some biscuits and whatnot. And he goes, Father Turjan will be joining us shortly. He's just finishing up some vespers and such. And perhaps his wisdom can help us. And then you guys chat, and you guys give them, I don't know how much information you want to give them, but let's generally say that you kind of tell them about that there's this otherworldly threat of demons. And do you want to tell them about that you know about vision, the forbidding and everything
dreams
like that?
And stuff, and the forbidding? Yes, I imagine they already know about the forbidding, being who they are and what they do.
Definitely gonna have to talk about it because that's our main concern.
Okay, yeah, okay. So all of a sudden, his eyes brighten up or light up a bit, and he's like, the Great Barrier, as we've known it in our church. Yes, I understand now. You are indeed on a very dangerous mission, and you say that you are going to be confronting one of these demon kind. He says in a sort of a whisper.
Yes. Indeed. And another thing is you're going to have to collaborate with the druids in the grove in order for two groups to come together to fight this scourge, because I don't think either side is going to be able to take care of it themselves.
Okay, you see his features kind of change. I want you to give me a charisma check.
So I know that they don't like
and
them.
It's give me a charisma check.
Ooh, my charisma.
And go ahead, Jang. You all of a sudden he talked about this. Now, Jang, you know a bit about. There's a bit of animosity between the two.
Exactly. We'll try and word it in a manner that is less intimidating than that.
Hey, I can't help it. Thrander is very forward. He's.
Okay, make your. Oh, I need Thrander's charisma check. By the way, what did you roll? Somewhere?
Wisdom.
No, charisma.
Charisma.
Nice.
Oh, what's your charisma?
He rolled a 6, and
Oh, it's like
he rolled a 6.
Woo!
No, he was talking. He's the one who broached it, so he rolls.
Yeah.
I just need one roll at this point. His eye. He goes, "Shh! Do not mention such a thing in front of the Father Turjan. He is more of the traditional type, and I recommend that we bring this with tact. But you say that I know Jeru, and I know he is a honest and wise man despite his differences, and we've talked on many occasions. In fact, we strolled in the forest together, and so I will visit Jeru and talk with him. And now, Brad, I'm gonna give you, Brad, 500 XP, and I'm gonna give you Zhang 300. Because Brad, that was a bold move, and you made the roll. And you could have offended him, kind of, but
I know. I knew it was.
So okay, yeah, and so he's all right. He says, "I will talk to Father Turjan, but there are a few things we may be able to do, like we will be able to cast a bless on the group before you go. If you're willing to accept the blessing of Saint Cuthbert, we can do it to the group, and it will last like a full day."
That would be much help as
You're most welcome.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you must be willing to accept the blessing of St. Cuthbert. Not that you have to convert or anything, but just not fight it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
understand.
super religious myself, but I don't say that, but I'm just saying.
The way has many paths, and sometimes you need to share that path with others as well. This is the way that I've followed.
Very wise. So he goes, and so you guys are eating your refreshments and having tea, and then he's yes, that's what we can do. We can give you the bless effect. Plus, I might be able to supply some healing drafts.
That
Okay.
too would be great.
There's
Some
stormy.
knowledge.
Okay, just let him talk. Go ahead.
Some knowledge of the ways and the ways to fight demons might be helpful too if your church has collections of this information. Any information we have to go into this battle would be greatly appreciated.
All right, make a luck roll. Now he goes, well, the library, of course, is a font of knowledge. It would take some time to research this. Interesting. We have done some research already, and I will call for Father Jacob. He is our expert on demonology, and he too, though, be careful. He is very conservative. He's a very old man, and he's mostly blind, but his knowledge is the most. And he says something, Father John, seek Father Jacob, bring him hence. And while you wait, you chat some more. Go ahead, Brad. You were going to say something there?
Oh,
or
I think I forgot.
Okay.
I just got a call. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, so okay, it's your call, Brad. So Tarandrew, you're all talking this intense. Now, this was a very powerful moment. I was hoping Lito would be here as well, because you guys, the first time you've actually formally allied yourself with the church.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's good we got a friend in the church because we're gonna need it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, we'll be tactful.
And yeah, but Calmert seems to be an easygoing guy and quite friendly. And
probably why we get along.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other help he can give, but the blessing and the healing potions, I think, are pretty good. So I'm just going to roll to see how many healing potions they happen to have on the premises. And he can give some holy water, of course.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay, he gives you 4 potions of healing. Or make that 6 potions of healing.
Nice.
Yeah. And 6 vials of holy water, which demons don't like.
Yeah, or undead. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll write that down just generally, and then we can.
Yep. No, and Brad, good call, by the way. You know, just you making a call on that and saying, okay, hey, do you mind if we?
Ching. It worked out, thankfully.
Sure. Oh, it certainly did. Okay, let me give you a look at this other maps here. Okay, you should be able to see them now. I forgot you couldn't see them before. So you guys are actually up here.
Yeah, I can see them all now.
And yeah, I'm just reading here the different areas. It's quite a church. 10 is like these cubicles where they... let me have a quick... Come on, game. My computer's kind of... I think my video card has reached its limit.
Another thing, too, is did we ever send anybody back to that moat house to get all those weapons and stuff? That would help our local forces.
Well, you guys torched it.
No, we didn't torch that area.
Well, you torched the whole place.
We did.
Yeah.
I thought we just torched the one area.
Well, it torched, the whole building, basically. You torched it.
It's stone.
But you could have taken stuff out. I mean,
Yeah, so a whole bunch of weapons. I'm like, wow, I could kind of handle.
Somebody'd have, yeah, I mean, it's all has an insignia on it and stuff and sort of tainted in a way, but I guess not really. Come on, Adobe just kind of shit the bed here. Hold on. Damn it. There we go. Okay, church, St. Cuthbert. Lower floor. Meditation room, exercise room, sacred gallery, cells. Oh, wow. So those are actually cells down there. It says
Abode of the wicked.
yeah, it is. It's like needy lady, acolytes, or criminals and offenders against the faith can be housed confined in the small rooms here. Bolted from the outside. Okay, the church library.
Yeah, that's probably a good resource.
Interesting. Oh, come on, Adobe's just crapping a bit on me.
Yeah, finicky ass computers.
Yeah. You guys are going to be getting some interesting magic items and stuff soon, too. Like, you're at that point where it opens up.
Yeah, you start to delve a little deeper into gnarlier magical monsters and opponents, yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow, that is interesting. So he takes you guys to the library where you meet Father Jacob. And he's really actually quite an active, funny old guy. You expected this dour old timer. He may be traditional, but he chuckles a lot, and he's pretty well blind, and he has to read with these huge kind of goggle lenses.
Yeah.
But he knows his way. Now the library is impressive. Like, this is a real honking library. Hold on a sec.
What's his name again?
Jacob.
Jacob, okay.
And he chuckles and laughs, and he's got a pipe sticking out of his mouth constantly. And
Pleased to meet you, Father Jacob. We hear that you're the resident expert. And
so he
library,
says,
the best.
what type of demon do you confront?
That is a good question.
Well, I've said it a few times.
Was it a Glabrezu?
Right.
Okay, I thought so. We heard a name, Glabrezu.
Glabrezu. Type 3 demon. Very powerful. The killer, the reaper, they call it.
Yes, we fought one demon. We were able to kill it with mortal weapons, but
And his
That was-
milky eyes kind of go wide, and Calmert looks at you guys too, and he's just like, "Is that so? What type was that?"
I describe it to him because I probably wouldn't necessarily know what type it is. It's
Oh, it was a rock, you guys.
rock, yeah. It was
Yeah.
very large. It looked like a large bird with a long
Rooster, cross train a rooster.
color human rooster combo.
Mm. Ah, you're lucky to survive. You guys are true heroes, dragon slayers, demon slayers. And he chuckles again, and he opens up some books and scrolls, and opens up pictures of a Glebrazu and a Vrock, and it's, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
They have psychic powers. They have powerful telekinesis, especially at higher ranks, of course, and they can beware their fear. They can evoke a deep fear in an area. It acts as like a wand of fear, he says, which is different. It creates like a cone effect. He can point or gesture, and an area could be affected. Do not bunch up.
I knew they were fearsome, but I didn't know that they had an actual magical fear.
Very hard to hit. You will need help hitting it. Unless you are very, very, very good. Their armor class is incredible. And he tells you things you kind of knew already and whatnot. But to his surprise, he pulls out this really old manuscript and he opens it up, and a pendant falls out of it. And it's a small, little, discreet, thin pendant made out of a simple iron, and it has the actual pendant edifice is quite normal, but the stone in the middle is what draws your attention. It's a red diamond.
Wow.
Not really a gem, but a red diamond. It's kind of a pink diamond, but more red.
A red diamond is super rare. In actual Earth terms, there's only like 5 of them, I think, and a couple of them are in the Smithsonian. So if you want to see a red diamond, you can look it up there.
So, and everybody gasps, and the old man, he's like, "Oh, that's where I put that." Oh, he chuckles. That was like 20 years ago. Perhaps you can use this. Do you know what this is, my son?
I have no idea.
You can borrow it, and we'll see, for it is a special item. This is an amulet of life protection. And you'll definitely want to write that down.
Yeah, all right. We'll distribute it.
It's an amulet of life protection. And it's like he lifts it up gingerly and reverently. And the gem, you can tell it's magical. And that red diamond just sparkles and has an inner life.
Amazing. Wow, very impressive, my lord. What does it do?
It is a ward for the soul. Thus, the person who bears it may not be possessed by a magic jar spell, a favorite tactic of powerful demons and devils, or any similar mental attack that protects your soul from possession.
That could give us a powerful advantage.
Only one person.
For the honor of being this item.
It including demonic or diabolic means. Also, if you happen to be slain, the psyche will enter the amulet and is protected for 7 days.
Wow.
However, if the amulet is destroyed during those 7 days, the psyche and soul is utterly and irrevocably annihilated.
Yeah.
Just tied my tongue there. Irrevocably annihilated.
Oh, we shall know to be careful then.
And it also protects the bearer against certain psionic attacks.
Wow. Sort of thing it doesn't do.
Its psionic blast and psychic crush do not harm the wearer. I'll send a thing.
Probably best for Jim.
It depends. Yeah, it's up to you guys. it's the three of you were here when it was given out. I don't know if that means much, but you guys have been sharing well and getting along that way. So
We
best
can
to
always
keep-
share items too, like say I'm going to take this certain item for this certain campaign for a while, and then you can.
Yeah, some yes and no, because you do
Depending
want
on whether you're attuned to it or whatever. Yeah.
well, and also because you do want to have some items that's yours.
Yeah. The utilitarian
And you
item.
could lend it to somebody. You say, hey, oh, yeah, you could borrow that.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Is if we want to, we could always say, "Oh well, if I'm
Yeah,
not
and there are a
now,
few group items I noticed, which is cool.
use it for now or whatever." Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to find where I fucking damn it. Oh, there it is. Okay, I put it in Facebook again. Boy, well, whoever's wearing that, that's handy because if you get slain, your soul goes into that pendant. Now, in this case, you talked with him a bit, and he says, even if your body is destroyed, your soul will be kept alive for 7 days.
Wow.
And so you'll have that time to solve that puzzle or whatever, right? So, I mean, your body could be crushed to mincemeat and destroyed utterly,
Mhm.
and there's still hope, as long as the pendant isn't destroyed.
Wow.
Now, there's some XP you'll get for gaining that item. Now, he says, between you and me, take this, you'll need it, the old man says. And you see brother not Turjan, Kalmart, he's like,
Anyway.
brother, are you able to do this? And he goes, shush, Kalmart. He goes, we won't tell anybody. Son, take it. Turjan, he is a old man and doesn't, I don't know, he's, between you and me, he just doesn't understand the threat.
When the threat is over, we will return this item to you, as requested.
No. Consider this a reward for now. If we need it, we will ask for it back. It is yours.
Thank you, my lord. That is an amazing gift. We'll use it accordingly to.
Do not thank us. You are going on a great risk, and you deserve it. And you kind of think about that for a minute, and you're like, Okay, and give me 1 second. I may have something else here. Let me take a look. Yeah, coming to the church is a good idea. No doubt.
What?
The hell? Oh. Interesting. Okay. Instead of doing the blessing, I've been reading up on the module in the church, all their the treasures they have and stuff. And Just having a look, quick look here a minute. Okay, instead of doing the blessing, he's going to give you a scroll of protection from demons. And he says that this, if evoked and done in time, will actually prevent any demon from coming close to the point of focus. So if you cast on yourself, you can move, and basically within 10 feet of you, demons can't physically get in that space.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
And they can't either magically or physically. It's a powerful scroll.
Oh, yeah.
But he says the timing is limited. And the fact, so he says it works, has a limited timing. So you might want to choose your timing, and also it, it's limited in that it has an area of effect. So you might have to stay bunched together, but it's in a pinch, it might help. Well, of course it'll help.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and use it against the big boss, whoever it is.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's an open area as far as you know. So the big boss, he's not stupid. He might. Well, we'll see. I'm not gonna. It's a tricky item because it will help for sure, but you're gonna have to use it well. But that's what they'll give you is that scroll, and so if you have a cleric with you, they can cast it. I think. Yeah, because a magic user can't use a cleric spell.
Yeah.
So you have to have somebody who can. Now, wait a second. You'll have to look at your class. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Rangers, I think, can use scrolls.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I'm just thinking of that. Because, we get clerical spells later on. But I don't know.
Sorry, Darren, I dropped out there.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm back.
Yeah, it was Dean. We lost Dean.
Yeah, I had a phone call come in and then dropped out here too.
No problem. They took you to the library. Did you get that part?
We were going to the library to talk, but I didn't get anything after that because that's when the phone rang.
Okay, I'll let Brad fill you in what happened in the library. It was pretty interesting.
Okay.
You met this old guy, Father Jacob, who turned out to be a pretty interesting old kook.
An old kook.
He was showing you a bunch of stuff and scrolls on demons and telling you all about demons and pictures, and he gave you some information. Brad hopefully wrote it down, whatever the weaknesses these guys have. And then while he was opening one old scroll, a pendant or an amulet fell onto the floor.
Oh.
And I'll let him describe that and whatnot. But he was like, oh, that's where I put it 20 years ago. Oops.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yep.
An amulet of life protection.
Oh, life protection.
Yeah, Darren put it on the messenger. It's got the write-up on it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's very powerful against demons, yeah.
Okay, give me a second to pop this up.
Kind of wish I had a paladin. It'd be perfect for a paladin. Oh, beyond perfect. Good for any frontline fighter against demons.
In the Hommlet crew one?
Yeah. Right at the bottom.
Yeah, I got a little number there, so.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can't be possessed by a magic jar or any mental attack.
Oh, that's interesting.
Whereas slain, you go into your soul and everything goes into the amulet that's protected for 7 days. And even if your body is completely destroyed, your soul is still intact. So you can either repair your body or probably put it into an empty body. I don't know. We'd have to see how that works. But
put it into a what's that? What's the druid version of that? Reincarnated body?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, reincarnation. That's a funny spell. Oh, you can come back as anything, man. Weird stuff. Really weird stuff.
We've had some fun with that one. A
Yeah,
dwarf coming back as an
goblin
elf.
or unicorn or who knows what. Yeah.
I think the funniest one we had was an actual dwarf coming back as an elf.
Oh my god. I don't know
Yeah,
if elves and dwarves in this world have a beef with each other, though, really. It's not like Middle Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they do. Maybe they do. Yeah. Always conflict everywhere, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely that way in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, what were the weaknesses and stuff that he came out with? So those were the kind of things I was hoping to play up in that talk. Was what strengths can we use against them? What advantages could we use against them?
Oh yeah, he gave us a whole bunch of healing potions and some holy water. That helps. And he gave us a scroll of protection from demons.
Oh, that will be handy.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. It'll stop pretty well. Demon or any of its magical effects or anything can't penetrate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're off to save that baby for when we're fighting the big kahuna. Yeah, that could come in super handy.
Serves as a ward, psyche, the soul. Okay, I got it up here. The wearer cannot be possessed by magic, jar spell, or any similar meta attack, including demonic and diabolic means. If the wearer is slain, the psyche enters the amulet, is protected for 7 full days. Thereafter, it goes to the plane of its alignment. However, if the amulet is destroyed during 7 days, the psyche is utterly and irrevocably annihilated. Psionic attacks make psionic blast or psionic crush will not harm the wearer. That could be helpful with demons with psychic ability.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and 6 potions of healing and 6 vials of holy water.
That could come in handy too if we can get it on them.
I always wondered if you could make like the holy water sprinkler mace and have holy water, and you could like fill it with holy water just before a fight with the undead, and you could do damage against ones that maybe you can normally hit. I always wondered about that.
What you're talking about is an aspergillum.
Yeah.
It's a holy water sprinkler, and it's literally it looks like a mace, except the head's hollow with little holes all around it.
Yeah.
And you swing it. Well, you swing it as a mace for impact, and then the holy water splashes out all the holes on the impact.
Yeah, that'd be perfect for fighting stuff like that. Even though it's not really a magical weapon, it's in itself. You can still do damage.
Yeah,
Although I think is it magical or not? I guess it depends.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So back to the library.
Yeah.
Yep.
Father Jacob and Father Turjan, not Turjan. I keep getting that. Calmert are just like kind of excited, and it's sort of almost like they don't want to tell Turjan because they're afraid he might overreact, and yeah, and they're just like, well, guys, let's keep this to ourselves for now, and yeah, Turjan, he's been very busy. He's had his hands full, so.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, there's Jim.
Hello.
Excellent. Awesome.
Yep.
Just got back.
Oh, we just playing out we're role playing the visit to the church as we speak. I'll give you a quick review because we got a few people joined. Jang and Thrandrew and you went to the church, met up with Father Calmert, and there you met you guys actually formed a bit of an alliance. Not formally, but you agreed. You told them all about the forbidding and the demons, and you're going to fight a demon. And you told them, they kind of said most of it, right?
Yeah.
And Calmert was like, "Wow!" And they knew about the demons, they knew about the forbidding and different terms and stuff. And then he's kind of nodded and agreed to help you guys. And he mentioned that Father Turjan is like a traditional kind of stiff. We might want to just. We will have to confide in him perhaps, but just be careful. He's He's very full of himself, so to speak.
A little bit of a stiff neck.
Yeah, he led the three of you into this trophy room where you guys could talk in private, and that's where you discussed it for about 45 minutes. You chatted about it, and then he said, "Oh, I know who you have to talk to. This Father Jacob, who's a demon specialist, and you'll be interested in him there, Lido, because he takes you to the library, and this is where you've been waiting to go. And in the library, which is about 50 times bigger than Jeru's, at least, it's a real honking library, like a university one. Well, not like that, but for this place, it's impressive. There's like 15-foot tall stacks of books and shelves and whatnot, and ladder. And there you meet Father Jacob, who's this eccentric old guy, and you befriend him. He shows you a bunch of pictures and schematics of these demons. He's a real specialist. He knows even more than Rajdeep, perhaps. And he tells you about some of the weaknesses, and he tells you about the psionics, and what else did he tell you? He gave you some information about
some protections against them.
Oh, he gave you guys a scroll of protection against demons.
Full protection against demons.
Yeah, and he also you guys found an amulet of life protection. I posted that in Facebook.
I just saw it. I haven't actually read it yet. I was about to.
It's a powerful item. Quite powerful, actually. And yeah, we talked. It took about 2 hours to do this whole bit, and you guys befriended I keep saying Turjan, Calmert, and Jacob.
Yeah.
And yeah. Now, at this time, you're interrupted by Father Turjan, and
He goes quiet. No, we weren't talking about you.
and, yeah, he comes in. So the guests, you've brought them to the library, I see. And he kind of gives a look at Calmert, and Calmert's like, yes, they face a great challenge, Father, Senior Father. And he begins to describe how you guys are going to be possibly facing a demon, and that we've decided, we're going to hope in your blessing. And Father Turjan is quite serious, and he's nodding. Yes, well, of course, the church gives a blessing upon you. You have given them healing potions, I presume. And Calmert nods. He gave you guys how many? 5 or 6?
6.
6 healing potions. And he doesn't mention the scroll or anything, but he just looks and very good. Well, I bless you all on this journey. I have many duties to attend to, and we will pray for you. And with that, you guys can say anything if you want to him.
Many blessings on you, Senior Father.
Thank you for all the help. We will take as much as we can.
Of course. And of course, the church will be always here to fight the chaos and evil. Well done. I leave you in Calmert's capable hands. Calmert, I'll expect a full report tomorrow evening, of course. And Calmert nods and yes, Father. And he strides out and leaves. And Calmert kind of gives you guys a bit of a look at the corner of your eye, and he chuckles a little bit. Yeah, as I said, Father Turjan is a bit formal. I fear he does not see the full potential of this encounter, but we do truly hope you success. And now you guys have a chance to kind of look around the library, and I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to think, because you have a chance here to research a vast array of topics with some depth.
Weaknesses,
demon weaknesses. I think that's one we got to check on.
Hold on, let's go down the list here. I'll add everyone to the turn order.
Yeah, I was thinking we should each focus on a different area. If one of you wants to do the forbidding, I've already been studying the demons quite a bit. I could look more into that.
Also, if you get one of the fathers' help, I give bonuses to your search and such, of course. But they only have time to attend one person at this kind. And you guys, since you have probably about 2 or 3 hours here before they have other duties or whatever, right? Calmert's like, okay, so it seems the library is at our disposal for the time being. I will try to keep it as long as possible. What can we help you with? And then I'll give you guys a couple of minutes while I look up some information here. And you guys can, and you may want to fill him in on the magic item and some other stuff. and there's a lot of knowledge you guys should share. So
You going first, Andrew? It looks like you're at the top of the initiative order.
Oh, yeah. Well, weakness is definitely one thing we should check out. Yeah. Unknown powers, anything else they might be able to use against us we don't know about. That kind of
no, I'm talking in a bigger picture now too. Like topics, like you can go into demon lore, or you can go into other curiosities.
The forbidding is definitely something that one of us.
And you're right though, Brad. You could focus on this Glabrazu. Perhaps you might glean something else out. So
that's what I'll do, because I'm kind of the least scholarly type. So I'm going to keep something that's I figures practical.
Well, I was one of the ones that seen the vision of it. So I think I could help narrow the search to specifically the ones that are on this plane now from this. So that would be more accurate knowledge of what's going on. And then if Lito wants to focus more on the bigger picture of the entire invasion that's coming and the history and stuff, that could work too. Also, I'll work specific and you could work broad.
Sure, that's a good call.
Because I saw both the tapestry in the moat house vision and the dream vision from both sides of that event happening, and in that I saw the three senior demons that came through.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll definitely see if I can get any information on the forbidding. Which one of us should use the fathers?
The bigger picture, I think, would be best for you.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
You're researching a much broader topic, which needs history. It needs demon knowledge. It needs I'm trying to figure out the way to word this, but it covers multiple topics, and there could be multiple sources of information for what you're looking for. I'm specifically looking for the three demons that I now know what they are. Partially due to my conversation with my master and with Rajdeep previously already. Actually, you probably know them now too, as we discussed that over breakfast.
Yeah, the Rajdeep and I actually spent days together after the bridge fight. He traveled back with me and the wounded, and I had many days to learn a bit of his background, and he's also been helping me with my psionics and learning how to meditate and everything. It's been interesting.
Yes, I need to join you with that. This illness of mine is not being friendly.
I'll definitely, every chance I get, we can go work somewhere.
Yeah. On that note, with the information I got when I went to Verbubbelbunk with my senior, when I made my report there, this does definitely feel like something we need to put more detailed knowledge towards. These
Your illness?
No, the three demons that came through.
Yeah.
If that was a vision of a true event, the three of them that came through could be very, very much trouble in this area.
Yeah, and the Glabrazu doesn't seem like an easy opponent. So yeah, I agree that we should find out as much as we can about that, and yeah, I'll try to figure out more about this forbidding.
See if there's a way to reinforce it or repair it, or any way of that.
I'm going to give you 300 XP. And Lito, you get 150. You're on the right path. So let's do that right now. So do you want to get Jacob's help? And with in Jacob's case, you'll get a +5 on, or I should say a -3 on your roll, which is good. And if you get Calmert's help, you'll get -1 on your roll.
Okay, well, definitely Jacob, especially if I've been able to, show him that I do have a scholarly sort of background, that.
And now, do you tell these guys about Daphne?
I haven't mentioned her yet.
No, not yet. Anybody?
Okay, this is now.
Okay,
There
hold
should be a
on,
little
yeah.
alarm bell going off, right?
Yeah, because the biggest thing is they want to tear down the grove. The church has been the one.
Well, yeah, they fear it. Yeah, and it's something that doesn't want to adhere to their picture of the world.
They hate what they don't understand.
It's sort of like that.
Essentially.
And it's like practical. It's like it's prime wood. It's real estate. We could build a church.
Yeah.
Build
Yeah.
a second church. Another one.
Well, they're not, but that's how churches, religions work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'll tell these guys as well. Like the one problem with if we get their help, especially with the forbidding, they might not know about it already. But if they help us find this information, then they too then have that
Okay.
information.
When you mention the forbidding, and you guys have been talking for an hour and a half, as intensely in this study, like if you can picture this, right? And it's powerful stuff. When you mentioned forbidding and such, Jacob almost sensed that you were kind of withholding, perhaps, or just beating around the bush a little bit. But he just said, that there was a guardian in a tree long ago. And he goes on, it's long ago it is said, and he's looking through another book and he's reading, long ago it was said that there was a certain group of elves that sacrificed themselves to, that's hard to say, the terminology is strange, and he's reading from this book, to become one with the tree, it says here, and then the tree is life and it has power to maintain the barrier.
We believe that we know which tree that is.
That indeed could be a certain aspect we have come across as well.
And Calmert's just kind of a bit curious, but old Jacob, he knows some things.
Do you know more of how it actually works as a barrier? Because we definitely believe that there is a chance that if this tree that is perhaps being used as a barrier, it's obviously being weakened as the demons are coming through into our plane of existence. And we need to find a way to not only combat them, but to close this forbidding.
Okay, he hands you this book, and he goes, start reading. I'm onto something here with this guardian. And if you have your secrets, I understand, he nods. And he kind of looks toward the grove. I've always wondered about that grove, but I respect it. I know it is important. You can trust us. And he winks at Calmert, and Calmert's kind of a bit caught in the middle, but he seems like a good guy. And so he goes, yeah, read. Now make that roll, Jim.
Okay, what am I rolling? Intelligence?
Yeah, intelligence. Now, this is a +5, but you get the -2 because he helps you out. You both kind of spend an hour and a half researching through these books, these 2 or 3 books.
Oh, crit.
This roll 20.
Oh,
Yeah, I got a good one earlier too.
Okay, wow. The prior knowledge you gained in Drew's library, and for whatever reason you happened by chance perhaps on the right, because you couldn't read the whole book and research it all in this time, but you came to the sort of area that described the process of the tree of life, as it's referred to. And the elves that sacrificed themselves, in fact, it was elven women that had to do it. And they took the seed. You had to have the seed for the tree. And they somehow would merge and become someone like Daphne, right?
Oh.
So the tree spirit, the being that merges, or attends the tree, they're not sure, it's confusing, the wording. If it is failing, that means the end of the forbidding no matter what. Unless we find another tree, or find And then you guys now talk a bit more, and it starts to click.
So we need to find either these elves in particular, or we need to find a way to take the seed from this tree and merge it with someone else, a willing.
And he's nodding, and you're sort of correct on both hits.
A willing guardian is. Sorry, you were blinking out on me.
No, he said, yeah, more or less. We have to. He said we have to find a seed and these elves.
Ah.
Now, Daphne's real name is Elona. Ehlonna. And she, at one time, you suspect was, and you're not sure, but anyway, Daphne's real name is Elona. And you guys haven't told this guy, Daphne, you haven't mentioned it yet, so he's just kind of, he's winks at you.
Yeah. Whether we should mention her or not.
Yeah.
But you just rolled that crit one, I'm just thinking.
So what about these elves in particular? Is this a certain race that has maybe, like, there aren't as many anymore? Or?
It was a certain bloodline of wood elves.
Bloodline of wood elves.
And
can we figure out anything more about them? Like where they came from exactly? Or
well, back then, we know back 2,000 years ago, they were predominantly in the gnarly forest.
Does Frandrew know about that? Because that's where he's from, right? Even I traveled through there on my way to Hommlet.
No, his people probably only been in the gnarly forest maybe for 100 years, 100, maybe 150 at the most. They're actually pioneers, recent homesteaders.
The elves are?
Been there a while. But...
No, Brad's people.
No, Thanadru's people.
Yeah, I see.
So they might have contact if there's remnants of this folk. And no, I might have got that incorrect. I have to refer to some notes. It might not be gnarly forest because I'm thinking of 2,000 years ago. No, it's different. This is when the one forest was in more areas, and it unfortunately their homeland is now not forest.
I wonder if it's maybe underwater or something now.
So there might be that too, yeah.
Or cleared. Yeah.
And also finding a bloodline relative of that original order is even going to be trickier. Yeah. But for now, that's a lot of information.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else, but now it's really clicking the importance of Daphne and exactly her role. All these years, for 2,000 years, she's been maintaining the forbidding. And recently, in the last couple of years, she's gotten ill or something, or diseased, or is just gotten old. It's hard to say, but she started to fail. Leaves are dying. And as those random leaves die, there's random spots in the forbidding that get weak. However, that's another hint to you guys, by the way, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever's keeping an eye on Daphne, you should tell that person to look for specific blights, because that will, and I will clue to some things. And I won't say more about that really.
I wonder if maybe the tree is similar to a map, and when certain areas falter, maybe that can actually point to certain areas on a map.
We could use that as a gauge of where to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably some correlation there.
So okay, so now Jim, you get 300 XP, and the other two you get 150 each. And also for that amulet, omelet of life protection. Don't eat it.
Too late.
You guys get some XP for that. I'm just going to look that up. Okay. Amulet protection. Oh wow!
I'm halfway to 7th level.
That's 5,000 XP, group XP between the three of you.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
5,000.
That's a powerful item.
5,000.
Whoever wears that, by the way, did you read the write-up?
Yeah, the amulet. That's
Yeah.
pretty insane.
That's nuts.
Ew, it's 16666666.
Now, you may want to
16.
chat with Ilona now, but she's pretty reclusive and often absent and doesn't like people or men very much.
Sorry, 1666, Brad?
Yeah,
6-7.
1660. Well, 1667 rounded up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this scroll of demon protection, when used, has a limited time span, and it's anywhere from about 5 to 20 rounds, and it makes you invulnerable to any physical or magical attacks from a demon. Anyone within 10 feet of the focus, which can be cast on an item or person. So it's a powerful spell, but it's tricky because you're not in a dungeon or something. You're going to be in the open. It's, well, demons aren't often going to respond as you think they do. Let's see what else we got. So that was your roll, Jim. I'm trying to think of anything else for that. But that was quite a bombshell. Ilona, and I put a star there because there are a bit more information. I'll give you the name of these wood elves, these Sylvan elves, the order of these females, and it's actually from Middle Earth. It's out of Court of Ardor.
Tessa.
Yeah, I can't remember right now.
Yeah.
They're an order. It's almost like an order of nuns, elven nuns, and they're the ones who apparently were charged with. It says they're supposed to maintain the tree, and so you're not sure if Daphne is the tree itself, or if she's might have one time been one of these elves, or you're not sure how that correlates.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense that Daphne was at one time an elf then. If
Sort
it's
of makes
the
sense,
elven
yeah.
women that have to merge with the tree, the seed and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're right.
maybe especially us as males, she might not be too open to us talking to her, but if we can get, or actually, sorry, Zhang. I forgot.
Yeah.
Zhang or even Boudica. Or
Exactly,
Right.
because Boudica is actually, Jeru has taught her a lot about the grove and everything. We might be able to ascertain more knowledge about maybe where the elves have gone, because you got to think that if they did this, if she merged with this tree, there's no way that they would just leave without any sort of way of maybe finding her again, or leaving orders somewhere that they can find this, and kind of come back to it, unless maybe
especially in a time of need when this very well might be happening.
yeah, and there's these evil orders perhaps are maybe racing to the same information that we are.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to push a little bit here now. Thrandrau, what did you research?
Yeah, I was just researching different demons and any kind of weaknesses or anything like that.
Okay, you already know quite a bit. You know about most of the powerful ones and lesser have personal names that have different effects. They have telekinesis or other psionic abilities. They
can gate in on demons. That's a big one.
That you sense Calmer agrees, and Jacob, that might be limited for the forbidding at the moment. It would be very unlikely that they could do that ability.
Oh yeah, because there's a barrier. I see.
Yeah, they're pretty sure that can happen, but
Saying sorry, what can't happen?
They have an innate ability to gate in a demon. Powerful demons have that ability. They can just gate in another demon.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That demon gates in a demon.
I'm just trying to think now.
Yeah, I could get that.
But we have no idea what name this demon is, and we're not sure what it's guarding in this location. There's not much more information. I'm just trying to think of anything else. Oh, the dretch. You talked about the dretch.
Yeah, they're the pawns.
He goes, beware their stench. They can
beware the stench of the dretch.
Yeah, he says they have some strange. He's reading up on it. And he says apparently they can emit some vast stinking cloud.
Is there any way to fight it?
Nose plugs.
I'm gonna look at my spells. I might actually have some weird.
Oh, there is a spell called Zone of Fresh Air, but I think it's fairly high level.
Yeah.
And there's wind spells and stuff.
Oh yeah, there's also Gust of Wind. That's one.
Stinking Cloud, that's third level magic user.
Something like that.
I have Cloud Burst, but I think that's weather specific. There's Wind Wall. I'm gonna research some more of these spells because, yeah, I don't know if you guys were there at that one session, but I got Bjorn's spell book there, and recently, with some of the people in town, we've been working to rebuild it to its former glory, and I've gotten a lot of spells from it. So once I hit these high levels, I've already got some spells waiting for me.
You know that Cloud Burst probably would work against Stench, maybe if it's like a gaseous thing, because the rain would take the gas out of the air.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now.
That might work.
Yeah, and we got to start thinking about actually starting this this session. But we'll finish up here first of all. So yeah, you find that out from the dretch. Okay, so you succeeded. Now I'll let Jang. What did you want to research?
Well, I was going to do specifically the three that I saw come through, but I think we've pretty much covered all that. But from what the other two guys have covered, so
well, the main guy came through. It's possible it's a demon lord.
Well, I saw them in both the vision and the dream, right?
Yeah.
Now we've identified this one that we're heading towards is the Glebzu, right? Glebrezu, or however we pronounce that. Glebrezu.
Yep.
With the description I have from the dream and the conversation I had with my senior there, is there any possibility we could try and identify the other two and maybe piece something together there? Get some foreknowledge on that one.
The scary thing about the one was that it started changing shapes when it came in, and you couldn't tell what it was because it turned into a tree, and it turned into a pile of rubble, and it turned into a bird. Some sort of shapeshifter.
Okay, so there's one spell, Wind Wall. The strong wind keeps fog, smoke, and other gases at bay. Yeah, it creates this huge 50 feet long, 15 feet high, wind that I can just point and, yeah, creatures got to make strength saving throws or they take 3d8 bludgeoning damage.
Plus it'll blow away stinking clouds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Smaller flying creatures or objects can't pass through the wall. And, yeah, Jesus Christ, that's hilarious. Nice. That's a good spell. Well, that's good to know, because if we're going to be fighting these things, then that is a spell I'm going to use.
Well,
what do you guys think about trying to figure out the more information on the forces on this side and see if we could disrupt them? I mean, we know there's demon forces on the other side, and we've tracked down some of the I've got some of the information on the triad on this side. Could we get some more detailed information? Maybe try breaking them up in this area on this side and weakening their ability to help the demons come through.
Exactly. Maybe one of the ways we might be able to do that is to help. I mean, this is a grand scale kind of thing, but help the kingdom get back together and not be, split into all these petty baronies and everything. Try to have a common goal for all the people. I think if they knew that this is why one of the things helping the forbidding, then they might actually band together.
Or just removing the forces, dividing them up.
Father Calmer says as well, he says, I will write a letter to the Baron of Verbabank and describe the dire situation that could possibly face us. And he says that you mentioned also that there was a possible massive breach being made.
Yeah. Being worked on and being pressed and weakened. Yes.
I have a question.
Okay, just hold on. Let him finish. Is that?
Yeah. The vision I had when I destroyed the evil item that was in the old moat house there. When I destroyed it, there was a vision with a horde of thousands of demons pressing and weakening and pounding on the forbidding, creating a weak spot. And if that goes, there'd be thousands pour through at once.
And so
Not
it's
just
wise
like the little.
to find that location. Now that's when I talked earlier about the tree.
Yeah, about how it's like a map.
Sort of, perhaps. That requires some next day. I was just going to mention you were trying to figure out, you were going to use your time to figure out the identity of the main individual that gave orders to the Reaper.
Or at least the type, yes, the type of that
roll?
guy. Or which would you like?
Intelligence check. And you describe it to Calmert and Jacob.
Holy crap!
What'd you get?
way.
I got a 1 as well.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
We're just killing it today.
Okay, you had a good look at this being, and in fact, you have a name. Like, you describe it, and you describe the one feature it had glowing green eyes, and this was a humanoid, stands upright humanoid demon. Would be slouched a bit, but normally would be probably about 8 feet tall or so. It carried a black staff with a kind of reversed ankh on the top with this circle that kind of had a green sort of aura in it. He emitted immense power, and there's a type of demon. There's a race of noble demons, and they're very, very intelligent, very cunning, very corrupt, and they're like the elite. They usually make up they're just below the demon lords, like guys like Gratz.
Generals and stuff?
They're like their lieutenants and stuff. And they're kind of considered as a race because they're mixed race. They often sometimes intentionally put human or elven blood with demons to create these beings. And there's a lot of them are specially bred for this purpose. And they're known as cambions. Cambion demons. And they're semi-demon. They're mixed blood. They always have a non-demon blood in them of various kinds. They've experimented with all sorts. And then over time, some of these have bred and created sort of a mutt cambion who are a bit lower, but the specialists are known as the marquis. And it's sort of a title. There's a marquis, which is the highest. Then there's a baron rank, which are still very capable, very powerful, but just lesser nobility. And then you have the minor nobilities, which are just referred to as the minors. And of course, they're the most common, the minors, and the marquis are the rarest. They're quite rare because they attain that level of power. They have psionics, and they are very, very powerful magic users and sorcerers. They can attain like level, unlimited sort of thing, right?
High-powered.
Oh, some of them will be 18th, 20th level and such like that. Now, this one you can recognize from his staff. He has been around a long time, and he's the Dagda Moor. And it's kind of the darkness comes in the room. You mutter that word.
Which word?
Hey, hon?
It's the Dagda Moor. I've typed it into the Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you guys got to quit rolling crit ones, because I'm opening up all my my playbooks being opened up here. And so he's this Cambion Marquis that he's mentioned in the old books. He was a servant of... Oh, let me think a minute. Okay, so it's Magnus. He was, in the past, he was a servant of Gratz, one of Gratz's right-hand men. So why he's been sent here with these other troops is intriguing, but you do know that things are clicking now, and you realize like Lareth was also searching, but you're not sure whose side he was on or who he was working for. And they were searching for things, right? And probably searching for Daphne as well. If they can kill the tree, that forbidding comes down.
Yeah. So this guy is the right-hand man of who?
Gratz. Okay, so go ahead, Brad. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Sorry, I didn't try to mean to interrupt either. I just kind of thought earlier. I thought you were done talking. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And
That's hard to read. Yeah, hard to tell
Okay, so this main guy that comes through is extremely powerful. Good.
The question I had is earlier on you said that there were guardians of the forbidding. Is there any other guardians besides Daphne holding this thing together, or any sort of allies that might be drawn upon?
That's an excellent question. And yeah, I misled you a little bit. Apparently, there is only one tree, and it's all that was required apparently. And no one thought this far in the future. They or unless it was sabotaged. Now, long ago, and I don't know who was active at that time, there was an intruder in the grove.
Okay, I'm just typing this into the to the side here. It has to deal with directly with that.
I was in there and faced her directly.
Do you remember that? Yeah. And
yes,
you guys,
I faced her in Daphne's tree and just about kicked her.
Yes, and there was some things I had to. There was, yeah. You're not sure, but maybe something happened to Daphne that night.
Shit. My first guess is the gypsies, because I've been told, and I'll tell the other guys this, that Zara has been talking to me about it, how they deal with demons. Maybe they help the demons, like I said in the side there, by scouting out certain locations like the grove. Could have been a gypsy fucking with the tree, perhaps. Maybe poisoning it somehow.
This was an assassin we fought that night that tried to kill Tam Tam, and she tried to come up and get whoever was in Daphne's tree at the time, and she actually touched Daphne's tree. I believe it was a she anyway.
That was Drusilla.
It was Drusilla. We suspected it was Drusilla.
Yeah.
So she did something to it.
And she's the succubus who seems to be working for somebody.
Yeah, and
if it's a succubus, I can seduce her.
That's the luck. Yeah.
Right.
so.
And so, okay, we'll wrap this up. Then you guys have gotten a ton of information, and you're on the right track. Yes, and the gypsies are definitely another piece of the puzzle. They deal with demons, the gypsies, and you're not sure how that relationship exactly is, but it's of course disconcerting. Okay, so about 3 or 4 hours has gone by, and you guys estimate that it's going to take a good about 10 hours to reach this swamp, and then it's probably about another. You're not sure. Should be about another 4 or 5 hours into the swamp to the ruins. Estimating. So anything else we want to do in the library, in the church? And Calmert and Jacob are now they're in on this whole mission thing, and they're supportive, and they're going to talk with Turgeon and try to really get him on board and serious. Turgeon is too caught up in his local duties, and they're going to convince him to write a letter because he has the authority, right? Turgeon is the head priest. So if he sends a letter to the Baron, maybe the Baron will send a letter, and in a week or two, we'll find out if the alarm bells can be raised, because you guys got to think about counteracting this breach. It's not your responsibility, but they'll probably have to send an army.
Yeah. Is there anybody here who'd be interested in taking up arms against it?
Yeah, that's
even providing healing help in the field, or is that?
Well, you guys also sense that there's a lot of legwork to be done. Like there's a couple hints at a few missions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Seed and a elven maiden, And
a lot of that information needs to spend hours digging up, and I mean, Jacob sounds like the man for that.
And then there's also the intriguing one last little nugget. Remember that this swamp ruins, it referred to a portal there, which is very curious. And Rajdeep is coming with you guys, right? And as well, Calmert is going to come because you guys don't have a cleric.
That would be very helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll have Rajdeep and Calmert.
Okay. That sounds like some reinforcement.
Plus you three. And then Boudica is supposed to show up a bit later, so I'm going to kind of have her catch up. And then there should be 5 of you in the party. You're going to have a 7th level monk and a 4th level cleric.
Thanks.
He took Cure Light Wounds. He took Bless. Right? And he took Light. And we'll take 5 minutes, and then we're going to start. You guys, I guess, unless you have some other little question or anything quick before we go. A lot of information, I realize. Hopefully it filled in some blank spots.
Lightened a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Now you know about, well, you guys made those rolls. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you guys became sort of friends with Jacob and Calmert. They were really impressed with how quickly you guys got, found your way through books. So, Lido, I'm going to give you +2 to any more demon lore rolls. And who else rolled the 1?
Zhang.
Zhang, so you now have demon lore, like general demon lore.
Okay.
I rolled pretty good, so I figure I just kind of gained a basic understanding of the different demon types and maybe some of their powers, maybe. Yeah.
Sure. But if you actually have that as a lore, like if you have it as a proficiency, you can make a roll in the field sort of thing, right?
Okay.
And you still can. You'll be at a minus, though, and I'll be generous with you because you like it takes pretty good hit to get it. Like you have to make critical kind of, and then I reward those things like that. And you'll get 1 or 2 doing something. And they tend to add up. You'll get little quirks and yeah. So so they give you well wishes, and they give you the scroll of demon protection and the potions, and they gave you how many potions or vials of holy water?
6.
All right, 6 and 6. All right. Ooh, good thing there wasn't a third one of 6.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody can scatter around and do for the rest of the day. You'll have like basically the evening and then in the morning you're going to leave.
Yep.
And hustle it, and then you'll be there in time to have some daylight still for at least 3 hours. You're hoping to deal with this.
So the one thing I was going to say, Darren, is for the days, like if there would have been some time where I would have been able to work on the familiar thing.
I was just thinking of that. We could do this now. You could meet up with Tam Tam.
Yeah, because I would have in the past couple days gone and gotten the jewelry from the jeweler if I could, and lay the cat out in a nice place. And
so Tam Tam estimated the minimum would have to be around 1,000 gold pieces, but he kind of hinted that he senses like there's a connection here to Bast, and if you impress her, she could be favorable in what she kind of powers she gives this familiar.
So I'm thinking if the spell book people, like the people who are rebuilding the spell book, don't mind me waiting just a bit longer, I might just put most of my money into this then, just making like as lavish of a almost a little tomb, almost, right? Like a crypt. You
want to go talk to the jeweler quickly? Let me see what he has.
Because if I can make it as lavish as, of course, something as what the Egyptians would be used to having buried in, right? Like maybe that would impress her enough.
You go talk to him. Let's make a roll.
Darren, I have an idea.
I know. I read that. I was kind of just thinking.
Yeah, okay.
I had a similar idea actually.
Yeah, I was thinking, ooh.
I'm not sure what that is. A figurine of wondrous power.
It's no, I've thought of that, and it's gonna have bear with me. It's you're on the right track. It's actually that's more of a figurine that you can evoke and take back. But anyway, you go to the jeweler and you talk with him. Roll 20-sided, and this is for luck, and so you want to roll high. But I'm gonna give you your also +2 bonus because you're in good terms with this guy, right?
So 17 out of 20 total.
I see. Well, he happens to have quite a nice neck piece that can be quickly modified to fit a cat.
Yeah, and I'll explain to him, hello, Dryden, just all the niceties and everything, and then explain to him that I came across this powerful spell in which I can bring this ancient spirit into our world to help us on our adventures, and the more I impress this goddess, the more powerful this creature could be. And,
He says, that's amazing. Wow. He goes, well, let me make a charisma check.
Okay, and the other thing too, would the pearl that he gave us last time, would that help with the cat?
Yeah, it couldn't hurt.
Ooh, I did not make the charisma check, but
okay, so
I didn't crit though or anything.
No, it didn't crit fail. Get out. And I can have this piece for 2,000 gold pieces.
Could you do any less? I only have here. I'll tell him. Say, listen, Dryden. How about I give you 1,900 gold pieces? I don't have much more than that.
He hums and haws, but yeah, that's acceptable. You bet. That's quite a tale you got there, and you're not sure if he believes a word of it. But that's interesting. Good luck then. And he takes the money greedily, scoops it up, and he gives you this little case with this quite a nice piece of jewelry in it. Very nice. And he adapts it quickly. So you said, I needed to be about big enough to fit a cat.
Yeah.
Okay. He thinks you're a bit nuts. But he's sort of like, okay, you're a mage. No, I guess that's not true. He doesn't react that way. He's just kind of like, oh, okay. So he's never heard of Bast or anything like that or whatever. So you take that away and you meet up with Tam Tam, and he's just like, oh, that's very nice. Yes, she'll like that very much. And he's nervous. He's like, oh, Bast is my goddess. She's very finicky, but we must impress her. And then he donates 3 large sapphires.
And I'll also use that pearl that what's his name gave me, the actual jeweler, because I imagine it's pretty.
And he gives you these sapphires are worth about 500 gold pieces.
Wow.
They're very nice. And you have them set in there, so you get quite a nice little. Altogether, you got about 2,700 gold piece item there, that brooch and stuff, and with the pearl and everything, or even more, 3,000, which is. It looks pretty nice, and you're hoping, okay, it's good. And then he mentioned you have to recite a poem.
I imagine it's the one from the actual scroll.
So you want to give this a try? Where do you want to do it?
Well, probably find a nice place. If I get the body of the cat, I mean, would the clerics the druids and everything be opposed to me doing this in the grove?
At the moment, they would.
Okay.
There's the moot happening, but there's some spots outside of town.
Yeah, like I'd try to find an area in which a cat would like a nice warm area and everything.
Nice barn.
Nice barn.
Let me think here a minute.
Yeah.
All right, so if you want, then we can cast this. Now, do you have the spell open a minute? Because it's so you start to go through your spell, and you have the cat's body there. And
what's the actual spell called again?
Find familiar.
Find familiar.
And we've adapted this quite a bit. So sorry about that, Brad and Dean. We're just gonna get this going. The game's actually scheduled, I think, for 5:30. So
Yeah, and kind of after we do this, I'm going to try to grab some food quick before we really get going.
Yeah, and then we'll hit this. That's a good idea.
And I'm not quite sure how long we were planning on playing because I got to get groceries at a certain point.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if we should just tie up a bit more loose ends, because this encounter is going to be 3-4 hours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another thing, I'm going to mention this to the group.
I'm back.
In someone's vision, they saw all of us turning to stone. Do we have any way to fight that?
Oh.
Because with this demon, I feel like that could possibly.
That was more related to the 3 witches.
Ah, I see. Well, still.
I missed that one. What did happen with that whole thing? I wasn't there.
Oh, we just haven't gone and done it yet.
Oh, okay. Because I remember there was a thing for it, but
Mm-hmm.
We were contemplating just doing a bit more role playing, and then because time's flying here, but in this combat, it's going to take 3-4 hours.
just those rolls set us back a bit, even though it helped us. Yeah.
Yeah, and it depends too. I mean, there's a few people that haven't showed up either. I was kind of hoping Shorten would be here and stuff, but I was going to play regardless. That's up to you guys too. I don't have to work tomorrow, so
I'm fine tonight, but
I know Jim has to go in a while
Yeah.
at some point, and Dean has to work and such, and he's on the East Coast, right? So it's like 8:30 there. We'll see what he
Coming up
says.
on it.
Yeah. Was Dean here again?
Yeah, I just went to the bathroom. I've only missed a couple of minutes there.
Well, we were just discussing
yeah,
whether
I mean-
or not we'll do this session later in the week or next week.
Mhm.
Because it's what, 8:30 your place?
Yeah, I had good sleep this today, so
And
I'm
Jim's-
good for a few hours here yet tonight.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, when do you have to go, Jim?
I mean, if I leave before, like, what is it, 10 o'clock is when the grocery store closes, so, like, I only live 10 minutes away, so.
Oh, okay. Well, we
But-
can play.
Yeah, if I'm gone at, like, 9 or
Oh,
something.
shit. Oh, yeah, we're good to go then. Yeah. We can take a little break now, though, because we've been active for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And grab a quick bite to eat or something, or get a drink. We'll fire this up in about 15, but we'll wrap up this spell here a minute, Jim.
Yeah, I've got it opened here. I'm just going to look through the Arcana because I'm trying to find the original in, like, the, what's it called? The Unearthed Arcana, but
No, it's in Player's Handbook. It's
Oh, really?
first level spell. Yeah.
first level, okay. That was where I was messing up because I just assumed it was high level.
Okay, it says it takes 1 to 24 hours, but I mean, I'm going to say you have like 8-10 hours. You stay up until midnight casting the spell. It takes like 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You got all the components, so you do that. You have your incenses and herbs and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and catnip. It says
Yeah,
for sure.
catnip.
So you burn all that, and then you cast the spell. So you do your thing in this nice little cove. Tam's there.
Oh, and the other thing, Darren, I wanted to make sure that, yeah, I'll get rid of the levitation psionic to do that animal telepathy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. And lo and behold, this animal takes on the flesh, and it's kind of like a reverse decomposing film as this creature, this cat, fills out. Yeah, and it's kind of
That'd
like...
be weird to watch. Whoa.
I'm just looking here. And you put the jewelry on it, and then Tam kind of nods at you. Okay, read the poem.
Mm-hmm. So I'll read it out.
Do you have the poem? Where is it? I posted it in there somewhere. It's in your character bio, or is it in the journal?
Where's the journal?
Here was a Hommlet page on the top on the upper right.
Okay, hold on. Where did I put that? Campaign journal. Hold on a sec. I'll find this.
Yeah.
I replied to your post. Yeah. Anyway, this cat forms up in front of you.
I'm just trying to find the poem as well.
It bugs me because
Or for some reason, I think that there never was a poem. You just kind of give me a description of the poem.
No, I actually did it today. I posted it in an old posting of yours.
Oh,
I
I
answered. You should look in your records because it'll say
posted.
I did it about 4 or 5 hours ago or whatever. Bet you have it saved. Oh, that's too bad. Anyway, it was a love poem. And I actually found it from an ancient Egypt manuscript from the New Kingdom. It was written like 8,000 years ago. It was a pretty neat little love poem. But when you evoke that, the spiders form. There's an image of this beautiful cat-like being standing behind the corpse. And you notice Tam Tam's on his face, like he's bowing, he's down, obeisance.
I found it actually. Did my boat sails downstream in time to the stroke of the oarsman? A bunch of reeds is on my shoulder, and I am traveling to Memphis, life of the two lands. And I shall say to the God, Lord of truth, give me my fair one tonight. The god is her tuft of reeds. The goddess Sekhmet is her posy of blossoms. The goddess Erratically is her budding lotus. The god Nefertum is her blooming flower. My love will be happy. The dawn irradiates her beauty. Memphis is a crop of pomegranates placed before the god with the handsome countenance.
Okay, you're smitten by an image in front of you, and you find yourself kind of down on your knees. Suddenly, as Bast herself is there, and she's holding hands with this beautiful girl. And that poem was basically written about this girl. It was one of Bast's favorites, a priestess who she loved. And then when she died, she made her soul immortal in this cat, which you have just resurrected the soul of.
Mm-hmm.
And its name is, and you get a name, and it speaks to you, or the girl does before she actually, her spirit stands over the cat, and she speaks to you, and you can happen to understand language because of your ability. You won't be able to speak it. And yeah, she speaks. It's like, you will be my new master. And Bast gives you my blessing, so I obey thee. And she crouches down and assumes a cat form and enters the body of the cat.
What's the name?
And it breathes Nefertari. Post it in there. Oh, wait, that's no E at the end. It's just supposed to be an I. Nefertari. Means beautiful one. And the cat is quite beautiful. It's got sort of a silver, and then its feet and legs are black, kind of two-tone, and it's got these piercing green eyes, cat eyes, and it can speak in your mind, sort of. It's they're not super smart or anything. But smarter than a cat. And you find it, and it goes up to you and rubs against your legs suddenly, and it's purring.
And I'll definitely, I'll thank Bast, and of course say that whenever we come across snakes or any followers of Sept, that we will destroy them.
Aha. And the cat's just purring away, and then Bast just looks at you and looks towards Tam Tam and just nods and fades out. And there's kind of a tear in her eye because she was reminded of her lover of another age. But now she's happy that her lover lives as your guardian. And she warned you, guard her well, or you will answer to me.
I understand.
And you feel yourself filled with this inner force and energy. And you feel tingling sensations throughout your body. You have an additional 12 hit points.
Nice.
You also have some magic resistance.
And if your familiar dies, you take that many points of damage, I think, right?
Yeah, permanently.
Yeah.
And you can't do it for another year or something like that. But, and you have 20% magic resistance.
Damn, that's handy.
Very nice.
I had a question about that, actually. For the magic resistance, especially with, how does it go? The demons. Does it work as just a chance thing? Like every time you cast a spell, they get that resistance chance? Or is it like one of those ion stones where for the first 20% of spells cast at it are just negated?
No, this is every spell cast to you has a 20% chance of failure unless the spell caster is higher level than you. Then for every level he's higher than you, you lose 5%.
Okay.
So if it's a 10th level caster, you would lose that 20%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's vice versa as well, by the way. It's if a 3rd level magic user casts them at you, you have 30% magic resistance.
I see.
So it's handy. I'll have to double check that, but I think that's how it works. And by the way, I put your cat here now, and I'm going to give you control of cat, or I'll control the cat. Both of us will, actually. I'll move it and stuff, but you can access its hit points and stuff. It's a tough cat. It's a large cat, like really large. Probably weighs 25 pounds at least. But you get a sense that this is loaned to you from Bass, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And she made a sense that, hey, she gave a blessing in a sense because he knew that you guys were fighting evil as well, right? Tam prays to her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And tells her about the problems and help us and stuff. And so she seemed pleased and everything, and you're blessed with her. So, all right. Anybody else have anything else? We were meant to do that for a while, Jim. So,
What? Sorry, just one thing. Is that red dragon armor ready yet?
yes.
Awesome.
So what was that again? Plus?
It was +2 studded leather.
Right. Whoa, that's nice armor.
Is it anything plus against flame or anything?
Yeah, actually, it's resistance against fire. So you take half or no damage against saving throws versus fire.
Oh.
Which is nice. Plus, like stuff like lava and fire just won't affect it. Like you can still burn your hands or something, but your armor won't get destroyed by lava or, you know, fire.
Okay.
It will protect you quite well.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, and dragon fire is now half or no damage here. It's actually a pretty powerful item. And so it's going to be the evening came. You guys chanted, did your thing. You've done your research. At the moment, the grove is cut off for the next few days. You can't go in there and talk to Daphne or check on stuff. It's while the moot is going on.
Well, we should tell Boudica that because she's probably at least allowed to talk to people, even if she can't even go in there, like all this information we've been learning.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to take a break and we can start then.
Okay.
Is everyone okay then playing for the next 3 hours or so? Or
yeah, I got nothing but that.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
cool.
just gonna grab some food quick, and then
Yeah, me too. I need a little refresher. I'm going to brew some coffee up, I think, and just get a little charge. I've been going a bit, so off we go.
Yep.
I should just do a new broadcast. That's what I'll do. I'll stop this one and just start another one. All right,
No,
guys. So
I
Yeah.
also was going to go over with you guys my spells, just kind of let you know what I'm thinking for fighting.
good
all
idea.